Hello, Internet, and welcome back to Antiheroes Anonymous, or welcome for the first time if it's your first time joining us. I'm Ethan, and I'm the Dungeon Master for this 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons show. I will have some announcements and a recap, but before I get into any of that, why do I feel like I'm missing something? People are laughing or whatever.
Did I do a recap?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Well, I have something to read here. Hopefully it's not, it's not out of date. Anyways, so we'll do all of that. But before any of that, Nick, would you go ahead and kick off some player introductions?
Sure. Hi, I'm Nick. I play Embers of White Ash, the Sun Soul Tabaxi Monk.
Hi, I'm Kay. I play Lady Elwyn Amalos, who is the Elvish Arctic Circle Druid.
Hello, I'm Melissa, and I play Tuppence, who is a pixie bard, Court of the Sky.
Hi, I'm Zach, and I play Vertinor Oranglass, the Artificer Armor Changeling.
Hi, I'm Will. I play Hakan, the Halfling Cleric.
So, those announcements I talked about. We premiere our episodes on Monday at 7 p.m. Pacific time, each week on YouTube. Throughout the show, we use a variety of custom items, as well as a custom pixie lineage, so be aware of that as you're watching. The character portraits, which are on the info cards and pretty much all over the layout, were drawn by an artist named Krista Porter, who goes by @KristaPorter with 2 R's on Twitter. If you need a refresher on anything that's going on in this campaign, we have a wiki at World Anvil, and we also have a recap video about Season 1, which will get you all caught up to date to the current arc of the show. Other than that, you can check the video description for links and information about everything I mentioned and more. Including some links to Black Lives Matter and Stop Asian Hate resources. Finally, you can follow us on Twitter, and we just hope that you enjoy the show, share it with your friends, and come back to watch some more. Without giving me any more opportunity to stumble over my words, let's go ahead and roll the intro video. And welcome back. Previously on Antiheroes Anonymous, a blizzard had forced the Silver Seekers into the shelter of the Broken Axe Tavern just west of a settlement called Twin Towns. The refuge from the cold did not, however, stop a group of bounty hunters from finding Rook, whose true identity was revealed as Prince Vertinor Oranglass of Vogma. With the help of Hakan Anvilheart, a halfling cleric innkeeper, they fended off the bounty hunters, but a ring of fire and the sound of screams from the towns in the valley drew their attention. And the next day, a small creature named Bren implored them to investigate in order to grant the wish of Mayor Tawyn Dazzleberry of Glimmer Cairn. And that's where we're going to pick up today. The group of you had made your way through the biting, freezing cold of the current cold snap winter weather that is visiting Twin Towns, basically sneaking your way through the Glimmerwood around the edge of the town known as Glimmer Cairn to find yourselves in front of a small house sized for a small creature. So it definitely looks like it'll be a bit of a squeeze for all of you who are medium in size. With a sign out in front that said Mayor's Office. And inside you hope to find the Mayor of Glimmercairn, one Tawyn Dazzleberry. So hopping right back into that scene, the group of you are standing outside this little, home cottage, and there are frozen over gardens and things like that outside. And it is just biting cold. There's a chilly wind that is kind of piercing through all of your clothing and sort of freezing all of you, except for Elwyn, who seems to have a newfound adaptation to the cold.
Not gonna sing it. I'm not.
It never bothered her, not once. And so, yeah, what would you like to do? You can see that there are lights on. You can't really see through the windows because they're all kind of frosted over, but you can see that there are lights on the inside. What would you like to do?
My wild companion is still active. I can keep them out for 2 hours. So I think I'm just going to ask them to continue to kind of circle above the town and keep an eye out.
Ooh, ooh. Yeah, the
basically.
owl hoots and basically lifts off your shoulder.
Yeah, just keep an eye out, and that way I can check in later if we need to get another look.
Well, I think we have 2 people that can easily fit into this house.
Sure do.
Agreed.
The rest of
so
you can fit, probably. It'll just be a bit of a squeeze.
Well, I don't think it would hurt to leave some of us out here to keep watch or whatever. And
Fine.
Teppy, if you want to take point on this, since she's knocking. Okay.
Knock, 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 knock.
It's already going.
Okay, you knock on the door. You hear the sounds of movement coming from inside. It sounds like 2 voices have sort of a quick discussion shouted back and forth between the 2 of them. And then the door opens just a crack and you can see 2 pairs of eyes, basically stacked one on top of the other, as 2 people look out the door at you. You can't really make out too many more details other than that, but they have, one of them has kind of grayish eyes, and the other one has more brown with like a little bit of orange on the inside. And they're both kind of looking out at you, and one of them says, "Oh, who is it? Who goes there?"
Hi, my name's Tuppy. We're looking for Tawyn Dazzleberry.
"Oh, you've come to the right place. May I ask your business? It's dangerous times out right now."
It is. We mean you no harm.
"Oh, well, that's all I needed to hear." And the door basically swings open, and you can see standing in the doorway, there's 2 gnomish women. One of them is kind of, a little bit more curvy, and she's the one with the brown eyes with sort of the orange in the middle, and she has this very like curly hair that kind of comes down to her shoulders. And the other one has straighter, more wiry hair that's kind of up in a little bit of a bun. And she is basically, contrary to her companion here, she's like thin as a stick. And the 2 of them are standing in the doorway. And the one, sort of the more curvy one with like the curly hair, steps forward and says, I'm Tawyn Dazzleberry. Well, look, you're all standing out in the cold. Come in, quick. It's freezing out there." And she motions for the group of you to all come in.
Thank you. Tuppy zooms by the fire.
I feel like I'll stay out and keep watch.
Do you say that out loud?
Yeah.
"Oh, no, there's no need for that. Please come in, quick. It's nice and warm in here. We've got a fire going. I actually just put a kettle on, some Dazzleberry tea. Also, Oda could make some hot chocolate. She makes a wonderful hot chocolate. Please, everybody in. There's room."
That sounds lovely.
Thank you so much. It's nice to have a warm welcome.
I'll make a
Yeah,
squeeze check.
Hakan rushes inside.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, in your head you can hear Bartran just goes, "Oh,
Thank
that's so much
God.
better."
Yeah.
I'll go in as well.
Embers
But I'll pause at the door.
stoops underneath the step and
Okay. Never mind.
squeezes in. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, all of you who are bigger have to hunch, and like none of the furniture in here is made for your size, so there's nowhere you can really sit. But there is room for you to like hunch or crouch down, or like sit on your knees or whatever. This room, now that you're in here, it's obviously designed for its gnomish inhabitants, but it actually looks like it could house quite a few, smaller creatures. It looks like the space could be basically reconfigured to host like a party or something like that if there were, a large number of gnomes coming to visit. But it's got a very cozy atmosphere. There's like the lights, which would draw your attention. The lights that you saw from the outside are basically, they turn out to be these drifting orbs of magical light that just kind of slowly drift through the cottage. And there are pots of plants everywhere. It looks like these two gnomes have basically brought in as many of their plants from the outside as they could, and are trying to keep them alive in here. There's a warm fire going in the fireplace, and there's a kettle that is nearly steaming just above it, and you can smell the smell of some sort of fruity tea coming from that. And yeah, they basically, the two gnomes kind of shuffle over to a table where they were apparently sitting down and playing, it looks like some sort of board game between the two of them. And they both sit back down there and kind of like move the board game to the side. Well, come on, make yourselves at home.
Thank you. We heard you
Wow.
make wonderful cider too.
Oh, yes. You've heard of the Dazzleberry cider. Yeah, well, I guess perhaps you heard of it where you're from. Yeah, I sometimes offer it at the fairy ring to some of my fave friends. So, well, I'm honored you've heard of me.
Well, we're coming on request of a little dude named Bren. Do you know Bren? Very fond of your cider, apparently. Very, very fond. Very, 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 very fond.
They both shake their heads when you ask if they've heard of him. But when you mention that he's fond of the cider, they basically go through the whole, honored to be, well thought of type of thing over again. And what is it your friend, this Bren, sent you here for? I'll admit, we haven't had guests in quite a long time. Not since this bad weather kicked up about a month ago. It seems as if no one ever comes this way anymore. And it's probably a good thing,
Well,
given how dangerous it is out there.
we were staying at this gentleman's tavern, and I point to Hakan.
Hello.
When this little rodent type creature comes in, and he asks us to do a favor to come seek you out since it's such dangerous times. And he showed us these. Who's got them? Who's got the
That's a
stones?
great question.
Which
Who took the stones?
Bren
No,
kept
he
them
didn't.
actually because he was
That's
going to
right.
polish them up
Right.
so that they would be worth more.
Okay. But he feels like he owes you because of so much that he likes the cider so much, and he wants to continue getting it. So he'd like us to help you.
Well, that's quite lovely. I'll admit, I'm very grateful for that. And I'm sorry, did you say that you were staying at this gentleman's inn up on the hill? Hakan, are you still covered in? You mentioned you bundled up like a lot to go outside. Are you still basically all bundled up?
Oh yeah. 100%.
Okay. You might have met Tawyn at some point, like once or twice, when because you probably would have stocked some of her cider. at the tavern. So she kind of comes over and like starts trying to look under all of your coverings. Is that you in there, Hakan? Is that you? Hello.
Yeah, I'll disrobe a little bit. Yeah, for sure.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
Welcome. I don't think I've ever had the opportunity to host you here. Oh, I was supposed to be getting tea for everyone. Did everyone want tea, or were there any cocoa takers?
I would love some tea.
Tea,
That's great.
Coco.
cocoa,
Coco,
cocoa.
Coco Loco.
Tea would be great.
Okay. So she basically bustles about getting the tea ready, and the other woman, Oda, as you heard her introduced, starts bustling about getting the hot cocoa ready. And it's like fresh made hot cocoa. Like she pulls out like a bar of chocolate and like starts shaving it, and then she melts that. And then they pour like a bit of cream into that. Yeah, so within a few moments, each of you have these warm beverages, either this fresh homemade hot chocolate or this Dazzleberry tea. And it's, when you taste the Dazzleberry tea, it's extremely, the berry flavor is very strong, but there's still that hint of, black tea underneath that kind of reinvigorates you after spending time out in the cold. And then the hot chocolate, it's so creamy, and it's like the perfect combination of milk and chocolate. The ratios are just right.
Dazzleberry is sweet or tart?
It's sweeter.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anybody craving cocoa now?
Well, I must say, this is some of the finest tea I think I've ever tasted in my entire life. Thank you very much.
Oh, well, I appreciate that very much. I've been meaning to try and, sell some of this as well. But look, I mean, people don't come very often to Twin Towns. And I mean, if they do, it's really only to see Very. And, the only other place that we really sell to is, Hakon's Tavern, the Broken Axe. And so, cider does better there than I think a tea would.
I have a question. How large are the teacups that we're being served?
Oh, they are small.
Yeah, I'm just like immediately drink serves. I was like, that's it.
She's Tawyn, she's a very good host. Like she
Okay.
sees you finish off your tea and instantly pours you more. So as long as you want it, your cup never goes empty.
Lovely, lovely.
How much do you sell your tea for? I might be interested in buying a little bit to take on the road with me.
Oh, well, I've never sold any before, so I can't say that I have a price for it, but oh, you know what? You can just have some. I'll make you a little to-go bag. I'm sorry,
are you
I haven't
sure?
caught the rest of your names yet, have I?
Oh, how terribly rude of us. Well, we're the Silver Seekers. My name is let me pull up my notes. My name is Lady Elwyn Amelos, heir to House Amelos, minister of the Old Faith and shepherd of the tundra. And here we have Tuppence and Embers and Rook.
Well, it's a pleasure to meet you all. I am, of course, Tawyn Dazzleberry. I'm the mayor of this tiny little town. This is my wife, Oda Dazzleberry. Wow, it is just such a thrill to have visitors after such a long and cold and trying time. Speaking of the cold, this fire just isn't quite warming it up enough in here. And she goes and she basically pulls on a cloak made of what looks like owl feathers. She just kind of pulls that over her shoulders, and she gets one for Oda too. And when she does, it strikes you that these two have a very bird-like appearance to both of them. Sort of the way their noses hook. They just, when they put on these feathered cloaks, they just look bird-like.
Bird-like?
Yeah.
What?
Well-
Okay.
They just kind of, their faces, just the way their noses are hooked. I don't know. And the way they have these like sharp looking eyes, they just look a little bird-like.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
You two are just the sweetest and most charming and welcoming couple.
Oh, well, I mean, I could say the same of you, that you're all very sweet and charming and welcoming visitors. So thank you. I'm sorry. We've gotten sidetracked again. What was it you said you were here for?
Well, we were
Something-
wondering if you could tell us a little bit about what's been going on here in town. We did see the state of things as we came in. Doesn't look like it's very friendly out there.
Yes, well, not very friendly out there. That's a bit of an understatement. A little while back. Oh dear, how did it all start? Well, just as the snows were beginning to thaw for the spring. Well, it was a bit of a long winter, so I guess we were already well into the spring. Anyways, just as the snows were beginning to fall, it seemed like, there was this cold wave, and along with the cold wave came those terrible creatures. They came from across the valley, and they came into town only at night. These horrible things. Well, you could say they looked like people, I suppose, but cold and lifeless.
Can
And
can you tell me anything more about these creatures?
oh well, we don't have very many. You see, we don't have very many wardens in town, and our warden captain, Rimple Fizzlefern, well, he's kind of old himself, and he wasn't able to. He and his wardens weren't really able to fend them off. They seemed really dangerous. It was like, I don't know. They had the ability to freeze you with a touch, it seemed, or I don't know. There was some strange coldness to them. I don't know all the details, but the warden captain quickly warned everyone to stay in at night, and so we did. But they just didn't stop coming, and so I usually the fairy ring in the center of town is more of a one-way arrangement. We can send gifts and things like that through, but stuff doesn't come through the other way. But I went and, I know a little bit of magic myself, so and a couple of the other, old folks in town who, have good deals, good arrangements with the Fae on the other side, good relationships from a long time cultivated. We did a little spell and we opened it up in hopes that, so maybe our patrons would send something through to help us out. And, at first we thought they had, because, all these red-hatted fellows, they came through, the Marrowbow gang, they call themselves, and they're led by, that nasty Mavis Marrowbow. Anyways, they came through, and at first it seemed like they'd answered all of our prayers because, they drove off the things that attacked in the night, and so things seemed safe. But, then during the day going out during the day was a little bit of a problem because they're bullies. I don't like to speak ill of people, but they're quite mean, Mavis and her gang. And so, we stopped going out altogether. And we've just sort of been like that ever since, I suppose. She just kind of drifts off.
So it sounds to me like even if we convince this gang to go back home, that's not going to solve the problem of these other creatures that were attacking in the night.
No, but, again, I don't like to speak ill of people, but I do have my suspicions that it's the folks from Rhymestrand who caused all of this to begin with. And from what I gather, the Marrowbow gang is gearing up to. Now, I'm not saying I want any harm to come to the people of Rhymestrand, but I do hear that the Marrowbow gang is planning, to go over there to Rhymestrand and, bully them. I don't know. I guess do what they do. I guess they've gotten bored now that the creatures have stopped coming in the night.
Have this gang done any? Have they done any real harm to the people of this town, or are they just mean?
Well, I think they knocked Vera Humplebumple on her tush when she tried to mess with them a little bit. You know, I think they, stole from a couple people's supplies. They do, sort of drain our resources, insisting that we owe them for solving our problem. But no, I guess no, not much physical harm to us yet.
Are you worried they might become more of a problem than they already are?
Yes, I think they might. From what I understand about redcaps, they sort of need to soak their hats in fresh blood, every now and again. Otherwise, they cease to exist. So they were getting their fill of violence from the creatures that came in the night, but those stopped coming. And so I guess now they're going to Rhymestrand. And, I don't know what they'll do after that.
Why are there fires at night?
Oh, well, I suspect that's the people at Rhymestrand again. It's one of them that runs the church, dwarven fellow. And right, I shouldn't say church because no one worships there. It's really just a cemetery at this point. Anyways, it's one of them that runs that place. So I suspect it's their doing. It probably has something to do with the creatures that, came for a while every night.
What are you? Do you have any goals to get rid of these creatures, or are they just going to go to Rhymestrand?
Well, it is sort of my hope that they'll go to Rhymestrand and not come back.
So you have no ambition to get rid of them now?
I don't know. They seem to like it here, and they're very, very tough. Like I said, we don't have very many wardens, and our warden captain is quite old, so he's not confident he could drive them off. So I don't know what choice we have.
So, I mean, we could stop them here and now, and just, stop the whole entire debacle.
She kind of
That's
looks
being-
all of you up and down. Oh, do you think you'd be? I mean, what would you fight them? They're very strong. I don't know if that would be a good idea.
We have a very strong warden-like person with us that stayed back at the inn.
Well, and we also have her, and I jab my thumb over at Embers. She's also very strong.
Mhm.
Ember's nods and bangs her head on the ceiling. Ow.
We might not seem like much, but when we all work together, we're quite something.
Oh no, I don't mean to say that you don't look like much for. I mean, you certainly do look like much. Each of you looks very tough in your own right, but there's quite a few. There's quite a few of them, and they are very, very tough each. I don't know. It just seems like a bad idea to fight them. Maybe you could get them to leave another way.
I'm not clear who you're saying by them. Do you mean the strange creatures who came with the cold or the redcaps?
Well, the creatures that came with the cold haven't come for a while, so maybe they're gone. So I guess I was talking about the red caps in this case.
I think we need to deal with the redcaps first before we deal with the other creatures. That's just my opinion.
What do you think, Rook? You're being very quiet over there.
Yeah, I think I agree with Hakan. I think we're here and we know the most about these entities. We could try reasoning with them if they're open to reason. Or
I'm
we
too
can
worried
just
that we'd be leaving the city unguarded if we got rid of them before we dealt with the other problem.
Well, I think it might give us leverage to talk to the Rhymestranders if we deal with if they've really been going over there and causing problems for Rhymestrand. Maybe we can introduce ourselves as the people who got rid of the Redcaps.
Well, I don't think they've gone over there yet, but they've been training. They've been doing all this wrestling in the center of town to get themselves ready to go over. But you're right. If you told Rhymestrand that you saved them from a Redcap attack, perhaps that would put them in, a good disposition towards you.
Or we can just accelerate the Redcaps leaving, and then follow them along, see what's happening in Rhymestrand, because it seems like there's more things to uncover.
We're just gonna be murdering another town if we just send the red caps
Well,
over there.
if there's a strange threat that's attacking every night and the screams at the whatever building that is now, so I'm not sure.
Not sure how much leverage we're going to need to talk to the people in Rhymestrand. If it's the church that's in the center of the two towns, that's the source of the problem. But if we want to stay here and take care of the Redcap problem first, that's something we can do.
Maybe we can just get them to leave, like go back through to where they came from
Go back.
initially.
Go back through the fairy ring.
Mm-hmm.
They are not terribly reasonable, but they do enjoy a good game with a wager. Maybe you could devise a game that they would be willing to play. They like physical competitions.
Well, so does Tuppence.
Yeah, Tuppence is great.
Sure
at it.
do. Sure
Tuppence
do.
Also is very strong.
Yes, she's
So
very strong.
I can see this. Yeah. Oh, by the way, does anyone need a refill on tea? And she goes around refilling everyone's tea.
Yeah, I mean,
Thank you.
Yes, please.
if
Oda, meanwhile, you gather she's kind of more the quiet one. She basically, as soon as all of you sat down and started talking to the mayor about mayoral affairs, Oda kind of went to like watering all the plants and just sort of listening quietly.
I guess we can try talking to them first and seeing if there's a way that we can get them to go home or whatever.
I'm all for any course of action that gets us to go somewhere and do something.
Yeah, me too. My
Can
neck's
I
starting to hurt.
insight check Oda, just watching
Sure.
her as she's
Yeah.
sneaking around? Starting off strong.
Well, what was the roll?
Well, it was a 2 on die, but I have a high bonus, so that's a 10.
What were you trying to find out?
I'm just trying to get a read, like if she's just being like quiet and what's the word I'm looking for? Not like if she's just not interested in participating in the conversation because she's being introverted, or is there something like that is making her uncomfortable about the conversation?
You get the sense that she is observing all of you and just kind of, watching the conversation. But that she also just kind of like you get this feeling that she's just stepping back because this is like mayoral talk,
Okay.
which is not her thing. And you do also notice with that like when Mayor Dazzleberry mentions that it's probably all Rhymestrand's fault, when she started going on that little rant, Oda was like, yep, right, nodding along and sort of quietly affirming that to herself.
Okay.
If you do plan to go to Rhymestrand, you should be warned. They're not as welcoming as we are. They're kind of cold and they can be aloof, and some might say rude. Not me. But just be aware of that. If you're going to go deal with them, they can be difficult sometimes.
Thank you for
Would
the
not-
warning.
Yeah, would I know about the people of Rhymestrand?
Yeah, you would.
Yeah.
Because they're probably frequent visitors to your tavern, just as many, or at least before all of this started. In the same way that many residents of Glimmer Cairn would have been frequent visitors to your tavern. Let's see. I'm trying to go down to my list of Rhymestrand NPCs.
Would they be like aggressive? Would they?
Not necessarily. They just tend to be like a bit more gloomy and like sullen, whereas the Glimmer Cairn people tend to be a bit more peppy and upbeat and stuff like that.
Sure.
Is there anyone specific you'd like to know about in Rhymestrand? For example, let's see, who do I have entries on? I have entries on the person who runs the church. Let's see, the warden captain of Rhymestrand.
Yes, definitely.
The mayor of Rhymestrand. The priest of the Church of Moradin in Rhymestrand. And also they have a blacksmith. So I have information about all of them if you'd want to hear about any of those.
I can get that information now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would love most of that information. The captain and probably the priest or the whoever.
Okay. So the captain is an elderly dwarven man. And he
Right. Right up my alley.
Let's see. He's actually married to the priest of Moradin. So they're both kind of elderly men. All of your interactions with them have been pleasant enough, but I mean, what Tawyn is saying is true. They're kind of very much more curt and like a little bit colder in their interactions. The warden captain, his name is Dane Coldlake, and the priest is named Werbin Coldlake. And you know that Coldlake is the clan name for the clan of dwarves that lives in Rhymestrand. So pretty much everyone has the last name Coldlake over there.
Okay. Got it.
Let's see. And the mayor of the town, the other one you asked about, is Gilead Coldlake.
I see.
She's kind of a strong believer in Moradin, very traditional dwarven values. She has a son, but you've never really met him. And I think their father is not, or his father, the son's father, the mother's husband, is not really in the picture. So you've probably never met him.
Right. So the whole entire Cold Lake clan is kind of running this whole entire town. That's my
Yes.
understanding.
Mm-hmm.
I see. Okay.
Oh, and I don't know if I gave you her name, but the mayor is named Gilead Coldlake.
Gilead, yeah.
Gillyd. Gilead.
Do I think that this is a bit of corruption?
You could roll a check. I mean, what are you trying to find out? Like Arcana or like a religion?
Probably religion out of that, but yeah, this is hard. Okay, yeah.
I'd say
I'm
a
gonna roll
religion
for
check. You could
religion.
make one.
I got 11 on the die. I don't know why religion. So I got a 12.
Okay. The main religion of a lot of dwarven cultures, and definitely the Cold Lake clan in Rhymestrand, centers around the worship of Moradin, who is sort of a god of crafting and creation. Definitely like a patron god of blacksmiths and things like that. And as far as you know, pretty much all of the religious, all of the worshiping that goes on within Rhymestrand is centered around that. This mention of like these cold, unliving creatures coming in the night, the ring of fire surrounding the church, none of that sounds like Moradin. So it's probably something different.
Okay. Yeah, that was my thoughts exactly. Is just does not sound natural.
Yeah.
It sounds weird. Okay. God. Does anyone else have any other questions?
I'm ready to talk to the Redcaps. If they're not gonna attack us immediately, and they can be at least talked, we can converse with them. Then probably.
Oh, if you are going to try to challenge them to some sort of physical competition, again, this is not a jab at any of you, but if you want to augment your chances of succeeding, against them in a physical competition, since they are very strong, you could talk to Very. She lives on the other side of town. Her house is it's piled with junk. You can't miss it. She's something of an inventor. She might be able to help you make some device or something like that, which could, aid your chances. I mean, if you know what to ask her, she's a little bit shy, and probably, won't help you unless you have a clear vision. But if you know what you want, and it's something that can help you get rid of the red caps, I'm sure she'd help you out. Especially if you told her that I sent you, because, well, she lives in this town rent-free, so.
Okay. So maybe we talk to the Redcaps first to see what we're even possibly agreeing to, and then we go talk to the inventor. Does that sound okay?
To talk to the Redcaps?
Yeah.
Sure, they don't sound violent.
Yeah. I mean, if they just
Yeah.
knock someone on their butt, and that's the worst that they've done to the people of the town, then
Okay. Yeah.
at least we talk to Mavis. Is that right? Mavis Marrowbow?
Marrowbow.
Mavis Marrowbow,
Mavis.
yes.
Marrowbow?
Mavis.
I have a couple thermoses here. Do you want some tea and cocoa to go?
Yes,
Oh, and I've got that
please.
little bag of loose tea leaf for you.
Oh, thank you so much.
Lady Elwyn.
Thank you so much.
She hands you that.
Anything. And I'll hold up my hands.
Okay. Yeah, she gets a couple thermoses ready for each of you. They are small, so
Oh.
yeah.
Alright.
But they're very warm to hold on to, and you can tell that they contain life-giving tea and hot chocolate.
Wonderful.
Thank you very much for your hospitality and your insight and information. We'll do our best to see it through.
Well, yes, I wish you good luck. Listen, if you need anything, Oda and I aren't leaving this house, so you know where to find us. We'll just be right here. And yes, thank you for visiting. It's been a long time since we've had visitors, and honestly, you can only play so many games, board games before you're just absolutely tired of them. So
I have a quick question. You said that you aren't leaving the house?
Mhm.
Why is that?
Oh, because, well, I mean, like I said, the worst that happened was someone got pushed, but, it was looking like it was going to get worse. And so, we all shut ourselves inside.
Okay.
So no one's been outside in a while.
Okay. Understood. Okay, I'll leave. Yeah.
Oh, you want to leave shelter, do you, Hakan? Let's have a
Yes.
charisma save.
Yes. Yes, let's do it. All right, charisma.
Can I cast guidance?
Yeah, I mean, you've
On
seen this
him?
before, so you
'Cause I
can sort of
know-
know what to expect
Yeah.
now.
I'll just place my hand on your shoulder as we're going through the door and cast guidance. So you
Oh,
basically
thank you.
get an extra D4 that you can add.
I got a 14
Oh, but it's just
on
for
the
ability
die.
checks?
Is this an ability check? No, it's not.
No, it's a
So
saving
you can't
throw.
use it anyway. Never mind.
Saving throw. I got a 14.
A 14?
Yeah.
It's a little bit easier this time since you've done it once before. You kind of wobble on the doorway, in the door frame for a little bit, but then you're able to sort of timidly put one foot out, and the other foot follows, and you've made your way outside. But all of those horrible feelings come rushing back in right
It's
away.
terrible. I hate
Yeah.
this. This is awful.
Bargeron just says to you, "Oh, it was really nice in there. I wish we didn't have to leave."
We can go back.
Yes, actually, let's go back. Come on, right back in, please, please.
I'm gonna fight her off and be like, "No, we have to go. We have to go."
Fine, you're right. You're right. We have to do something about these red caps. Otherwise, they're going to attack Rhymestrand. And I mean, like I've said, they may not be members of our clan, but they're dwarves, and we've got to do what we can to protect the
Yes.
dwarves. So
Yes, absolutely.
we owe them that much.
Mhm.
Are you going to get out of that door frame anytime soon?
I'm walking out. I'm walking out. Don't worry. As he struggles.
Oh,
Yeah.
Embers follows.
Yes.
Listeners can't
Oh.
see this because we don't have cameras, but Nick was hunched the entire time we were having that conversation.
Yep.
The
Yep.
commitment.
Yep. A++ commitment to acting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I guess.
Okay,
So do the rest of you follow?
Yep.
Yeah.
So I guess we're on our way to the center.
Tawyn and Oda wave at you from the doorway. And then as soon as you're all pretty much out, they say, "Right, well, goodbye." And they close the door behind you.
I don't trust him.
Yeah.
I don't like these guys at all.
The
You
gnomes?
They seem very shady.
What do you mean?
They seem very friendly, but
They're
I
very
think
friendly.
they have a very skewed perspective.
Yeah,
So-
they have a very big secret that they are not willing to tell us. Is my thought.
What makes you say that?
Have you heard rumors?
No, it's just the way that they speak and the way that they projected how everything is going on in this town.
Well-
It just makes me seem very skeptical.
She's the mayor. You think she'd want help?
Yeah,
I'm
Well,
kind of surprised
sometimes
she didn't offer to pay us, actually, like
I
most
agree.
people do.
he did just give us all we can drink tea and hot cocoa.
Oh, big whoop.
That's there was nothing else though.
Well, maybe once everything's done, she'll change her tune. I do know that there are some things worth, guarding a reputation for. But let's just talk to these red caps and see what we can figure out on our own.
Agreed. Okay.
All right. So do the group of you pretty much stroll straight towards center of town then?
Heads held high.
Yeah,
guess
but
so.
also I'd like to sort of, if it's possible, to do something to like read the room and see if like they're, I don't know, actually going to be violent with us when we start approaching.
Do you want to do that before you've been noticed? Or do you want to kind of read the
Well-
room as they notice you?
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's a good point because like if they're already committing acts of violence when we're approaching, then I'd like to know that, obviously. But then as we approach when they see us, are they going to like take battle formations and like, get ready to jump us or something?
Mess us
or-
up.
Well, make a perception check.
All right.
And depending on how good that is, you can see them before they see you.
I have no idea. I rolled a 1.
Okay. Before you can find any of them, you basically hear the clanking of large metal boots as two of these red caps basically come out of an alleyway behind the group of you and go, "Oi! What are the group of you doing here? Yeah, you there. And they come like striding up to the group of you, clanking their big metal boots as they come.
Oh, hello. Hi. We're just looking for Mavis.
What business do you have with the boss, huh?
Well, it's a little bit above your pay grade, I'm sure.
He strides forward to you, and he's like this grizzled, almost gnomish looking person. But basically like an old man with kind of wild hair sticking out at all angles, and then this little red cap on top of his head. And he's got this sickle kind of holstered in his belt. And he comes and he gets up close, like right up next to you, so that he's looking up in your face, because he's a small creature. Kind of puts his hands on his hips and says, "Ain't nothing above my pay grade."
Embers walks up next to Elwyn and says, "I'm fairly above you." And looks down
Yeah,
at
we'll
him
see
and try-
about that
and
once
tries
you've
to, like,
talked to the
and tries
boss.
to give a menacing look to him too.
You want to make an intimidation check?
I would love to make an intimidation check.
Here
I'll
we
make one
go.
back to you.
I guidance you, Embers.
Okay.
Okay.
It's a D4, right?
Yeah.
All right. That's a 7.
All right, his was the 17.
Embers like shrinks back a little bit.
Okay, Teppy will fly over to the one that's talking and say, "Well, aren't you so cute? You're like really, really, really cute. Those boots. Wow."
All right, buzz off. The big people are talking now, and he kind of swats at you.
And I'll grab hold of him as he's doing it with my mage hand. So I can't fly away.
Hakon's gonna walk up, dragging
Um,
his warhammer.
Okay, so
up to
hold
the
on.
front.
Before we get to Hakan, Tuppence, you try to grab his hand that's swatting at you with your mage hand.
Mm-hmm.
Can you make a charisma check?
Ooh, that's a 19 plus. So 22.
Yeah, you grab his hand and it stops in place. What do you want to do with it? Do you just like stop it there, or do you like twist it behind his back?
I want to try to use the momentum to try to fly closer and see if his red cap will come off.
Oh, no, the cap stays pretty firmly on his head, but you've definitely caught his hand, and he goes, "Hey, come on, let go of me!" And that's when Hakan comes up, dragging the warhammer.
I'm just trying to be intimidating.
Want to make an intimidation check?
Yes.
I guess I better suit up at this point.
Khan doesn't have a -3 to this check.
I got a 2.
Oh no.
Oh no. Yeah, it's just a 2.
Oh my god.
Oh no.
Yeah, he looks at the group of you and he says, "Oi!" And then he looks to his friend and he says, "Oi, you, go get Mavis. Looks like we're gonna have a fight."
Going it
And
all along.
he basically like he's only got the one hand right now, but he like holds up the other hand in like a fist.
For the
Waves
rest
it
of
at
the
you.
party, Hakan, I think it's time to cast Shield of Faith.
Yes. Agree.
I'm gonna put
I
my
was
metal
just about
boots
to
on.
do that.
Fighting these guys?
I mean, we might not, but we might.
I cast Shield of Faith.
Okay. Well, let's roll initiative.
Oh no.
I don't have a map for the center of town. So we'll do
oh,
this
no.
one, Theater of the Mind.
Okay.
Or I mean, I do have one
Well-
for the center of town, but I don't have one for just in the town.
Fine.
Actually,
I was hoping we could like parlay a little bit, but it doesn't
Well-
seem
I feel
it's
like we
gonna
kind of
happen.
are about to parlay in some sense.
Maybe.
I do have one that's kind of generic tundra. It's got woods. Let's use this map.
Okay.
I will have to do some editing to get it ready, but that's okay.
Yeah, I definitely cast Shield of Faith before we go into
I remember
Tip.
this map.
battle.
Yeah, this is very
Uh,
similar to the heist map.
Hold on. I think I need to refresh.
And I need to grab Hakan too. Hold on. You're here somewhere. I know you are.
Our cart is still there.
Yeah, I'll move the cart. I had this ready in case we had combat encounters during the travel, but we didn't. So
Oh, okay.
uh,
I'm casting Shield of Faith on Elwyn.
Oh,
By the way.
thanks.
You're
Thank you.
okay, let's see. So I will get rid of the cart and the horses. They should be gone now.
And the Tauren.
Oh yeah, we'll get rid of Tauren too.
You want me to show the map?
Yeah, you can go ahead and show it.
Okay. I will.
Let's see. And then, so I think the configuration is probably something like that. With the two red caps, basically one of them about to head off to the left to go get Mavis, and then the other one kind of grabbed by Tuppence right now. Let's have those initiatives.
I got an 8.
Okay. Actually, I do need to create a quick initiative tracker for this real quick.
Initiative is plus what?
There should be a.
It's plus your dexterity.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've got an 18.
Okay, so 18 for you, 8 for Elwyn. How much for Embers?
16.
16. And Tuppence?
14.
14. And Vert?
19.
Y'all did pretty good.
They did well too. Okay, but Vertinor, you are the first to act. Basically, as you can see things turning away from your favor, and a fight beginning to break out, Hakan casts this protective shield over Elwyn, and things are about to get violent. What would you like to do?
Yeah, so I have my metal boots on as well at this point, and so I'll step between Tuppence and Embers and say, "Hold on a second. We heard you guys like games," and I'll let that linger for the red cap for his
Okay.
response. Will that take my action if I do that?
It depends if you want to accompany it with like a persuasion check or something
Sure.
like that.
Yeah, we'll do that. Yeah.
Then yeah, that'd be your action.
Do they like my boots? Can I get advantage for the boots? Just kidding.
Only if they're made for walking.
They rolled a natural 1 on their perception, so they didn't notice yet.
Okay. Well, I got a 19 on persuasion.
Okay. Yeah, you can see that the one who has been grabbed seems to falter a little bit at that. Is there anything else you want to do on your turn?
If that took my action, then no.
Okay. Then it's their turn. And the one who's been grabbed is like, "Hey, what do you mean by that? What do you mean games? What do you have in mind?" And then the other one is still like trying to move away. And the one that's grabbed kind of snaps, hey, come back here. These two might, or this group might want to play a game. And the other one kind of moves back towards you. And they kind of cross they pull out their sickles, sort of ready to fight, but it looks like you have their attention with the idea of a game. The only other thing I'm going to do on their turn is the one who's grabbed is going to try and break out of that. So I need Tuppence to make another charisma check.
13.
An athletics of +6, it breaks out. So he tears his hand free. Ha! All right, now let's hear what you're talking about. What game? Tell me what you have in mind, quick, before we beat you up.
Are we dropping initiative for this, or do people want to?
Well, we'll see what others want to do.
Yeah.
Hakan?
I was gonna do hold person, but I'm just gonna stand behind them and
Okay.
probably roll an initiative or an imitation.
You can probably hold an action too if you want to wait to
I-
see how negotiations go.
Yeah, I can hold action as well.
Okay.
I think I'll hold action.
Okay. So what the way that works is you decide what you want to do and you decide a trigger for it.
Right.
And then if that trigger happens, you get to use your reaction to do the action.
Okay.
So it would be something like, if one of them attacks, then I use my action. Or, yeah, if one of them moves away, then I use my action, that sort of thing.
Could I instead just do it an imitation? Like
Intimidation? Yeah,
intimidation, sorry. Excuse me. Yeah. Could I just intimidate them?
sure.
Stand behind them. I got an 18.
Okay. Yeah, you can see as you sort of take, do you take like a menacing pose? Or what do you do to intimidate them?
I would like them to not like stray off. I would like them to stay here. Continue the game.
Okay. Yeah, as you kind of come up and start looking menacing behind Rook and the group of everyone else, they kind of back up and give a little bit of space to everyone, but still clutching their sickles, though it looks like you've definitely struck a bit of fear in them.
Okay.
Okay, and we'll just go quickly through everyone. Embers, do you want to do anything?
As far as actions, I think Embers is just going to take the dodge action, but she's also going to lean over to Tuppence and tell Tuppence, see if you can convince them to agree to a race.
I was.
You know what? I have it all ready to go. You're reading my mind.
Tuppence, anything you want to do on your turn?
Yes, I'm gonna cast suggestion
Okay.
to the chatty one. So it's a charisma, is it?
You tell me. You're the one who has the spell in front of you. I think it's wisdom.
Let me see. Target must make, yeah, wisdom saving throw,
Okay.
and it's a DC 14.
All right, let's see. They're not terribly wise. Well, when I roll high, they are. So they succeed.
Okay.
What was your suggestion? Because you have to say that out loud.
Well, I was going to suggest that they really want to go find Mavis and convince her to challenge us to a game. And I'll take Ember's suggestion and make it a race.
Well, if we're going to have a game, it'll be up to the boss what kind of game it is. So, or maybe she'll let you decide. I don't know. I can't speak for her.
Sounds fun though, doesn't it?
Yeah, whatever. Elwyn, anything on your turn?
I'm not quite sure what to do right now. Ellen is standing back there seeing everyone trying different tactics and not sure who to support. So she's like looking between everybody like, oh God. But I think she will, let's see, kind of step up next to Rook and
Of course.
yeah, grab his hand and say, I think you're probably the one who has the best chance of getting through to them negotiation wise. So here's a little something to help. And I'm going to cast Enhance Ability on you. And I'm going to give you
Okay.
Eagle's Splendor, which gives you advantage on charisma checks.
Oh shoot! Yeah.
Eagle Splendor.
Yeah.
Well, okay. I'm glad I made that battle map. It seems like things have been diffused for now. We can stay on there in case things get prickly again.
So you don't want me to
But-
change it back?
You don't need to. Well, it's either way. It's up to you.
Might as well leave it up.
The one who's been doing the talking so far says, All right, fine then. Let's go talk to the boss. Follow me, and starts walking back towards town, towards the center of town.
All right, let's go.
Gee, you got to go through a
Okay.
whole rigmarole just to talk to their boss.
We also
Um,
rolled really poorly.
Yeah, they kind of march in a huff through the snow in the town, and you can see as you pass by houses and things like that, you can see gnomish faces poking out and kind of looking at you through the windows. But none of them spare more than like a second to glance at you before ducking back into hiding. And they bring you, yeah.
I was gonna say the mayor told us about the inventor. Then the other side of town. Are we passing by that place? Or is
No,
that
it's on
clear
like the
past?
far
Okay.
opposite side of town,
Okay.
clear past, yeah.
Yep.
Which
And
town
these-
is this?
This is Glimmercairn.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And you would know of the inventor. You've probably never met her.
Mhm.
Just retroactively, I'll give you some information.
Sure.
She's the only kobold who lives in town.
Oh yes.
And her name is Very. She's very shy.
Very.
And she's an extremely talented inventor. So much so that she apparently has a company elsewhere in the Empire, but she's not in charge of running any of that. She just provides the blueprints and then they build and sell everything.
Okay.
You've probably never met her because she doesn't come to the tavern because she's so shy, but yeah, that's what you would know of her.
Okay. Got it. So we're heading up to
Yeah,
town.
so yeah, they march you into sort of the center of town where there's this ring of standing stones. And now that you get close to them, you can see that there are sort of small, glimmering, almost like gold flecks in there that let off a little bit of light. And there also seems to be like, sort of like the lights in Tawyn's house, there seem to be kind of floating lights that flicker in and out of existence all around this circle of standing stones. And in the center of the circle of standing stones, there's a ring of multicolored mushrooms. And there are a group of, I want to say 6 red caps currently in the ring of mushrooms, basically conducting wrestling matches. And as the group of you approach, you can see that one of them, who is this burly woman of a red cap, basically turns around and you can see that she has this big red ribbon bow on the top of her head. And she's clearly Mavis Marrowbow, and she comes walking towards you. And she stands in front of the other two and says, "All right, then, what's this about? What's going on here, boys?" And they kind of launch into an explanation about how they met you in town and how you want to challenge them to a game. And she basically just like motions behind her, and the two of them get behind her and kind of like take menacing poses back there. And then she walks forward, closing the rest of the distance towards you, and sort of looks around the group of you to spot the leader. Is Rook kind of standing ahead of everyone?
Yeah.
Sorry, Vert.
Yes. Both. Yes.
I'll shove Rook a little bit.
You
So
don't.
like
Okay.
when we're in the group, just push him a little bit to go speak with him.
Yeah, I was already going, but he's like, "Okay, I got it. I
Yeah.
got it. Don't worry."
A shove of confidence.
Yeah. Okay, I see. Thank you.
All right, so you're the leader then.
Sure.
Well, I'm Mavis Marrowbow, and I'm the boss around here. So if you want to challenge anyone to a game, it's gonna be me.
All right. So let's do that then. What do you guys normally play, and what are the stakes?
She gestures to the red caps behind her. We've been doing wrestling to train for our raid on on Rhymestrand.
When's that happening?
We're thinking tomorrow at dawn.
what are you gonna do there? You say raid, but like, are you just gonna?
Murder, pillage, and plunder.
Oh,
You know, the
I see.
works.
Okay. Okay.
But if the group of you want to have a little competition, that'd be a good warm up too.
All right. Wrestling? How about something more interesting, more fun?
Well, what do you have in mind? If I'm picking a game, it's going to be wrestling.
Okay. So you want to play a few games then?
She kind of raises an eyebrow. If you've got some to propose,
How about a race?
she looks down at her iron boots. Yeah, I don't think so.
I looked at my iron boots. I'm like, I think you're just chicken.
Make a persuasion check.
Yeah.
With advantage
I know.
because of Eagle's thunder.
Oh, natural 20. Oh, 24.
I ain't no chicken, and none of my gang are chickens either.
Okay.
Fine, one game
Put
can be
your
a
boot
race.
where your mouth is then.
One game is a race, one game's wrestling. What
Okay.
else we playing?
I'll like look back to the group for any suggestions.
Is this best 2 out of 3?
I think, I mean, if we wanted to,
You get the impression that she hasn't thought that far ahead.
Yeah,
so
I get the impression too.
Snowball fight?
Oh, dang.
Arm wrestling.
I mean, that would be all you. No, I don't know about this.
To the death. You know?
How about, well, we don't want to game a chance.
Oh, we might actually. But
Oh, with sleight of hand? Who's good at sleight of hand?
no games of chance.
me.
How
Dang it.
about a drinking contest?
Ooh,
okay.
very good.
Hold on. How would they fare in a drinking contest? Okay. Yeah, she feels pretty confident about that.
All right.
All right, fine. One can be a drinking contest. So we've got one drinking contest, we've got one wrestling match, and one race.
So let's put some stakes on it then.
All right, I'm
So-
listening.
So if we
She kind of
win,
tugs on her bow a little bit.
yeah, okay. And then well, you know, give me 1 second, and then I'll like turn around and like kind of huddle in with everybody.
Yeah, you see that when you do that, she like kind of looks around,
Does the same
quite unsure of what to do, and then she's like, "Come on, boys, huddle up," and
Yeah.
they huddle up too.
All right. So yeah, do we want them to just leave? Like,
Yeah, we want them to go
Just
back
go
through the
back to
fairy
the-
stones and not come back.
okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure. So then I'll turn around again.
They're still huddled, but you can see that she has one eye
I'll
on
be
you,
like,
and it darts back to her group, and she's like, "All right, boys, hands in, Marrowbow, Marrowbow, Marrowbow," and they start chanting, and they
I
go
love
about 4 or
this.
5 chants, and then
Oh, this is great.
break.
All
They
right.
turn around.
Okay.
All right, yeah, we've got our
Fantastic.
strategy.
Yeah, okay. All right. So if we win, we want you to go back through the fairy circle, back to where you came from.
Right. Okay. And then what if we win?
You get to propose that.
Okay. We get to.
How about you get to? How about you get
soak
to?
our hats in one of your blood?
Hmm.
No. Okay. All right. What could we do? You join us on the raid of Rhymestrand.
On equal terms, or
She doesn't quite know what you mean. She kind of like
how about?
looks at you confused.
Okay. But because we're familiar with that place, how about we lead the raid if that happens?
She comes in real close. Nobody leads the Marrowbow gang but me.
Well, you can lead the gang, but then we'll work. You and I will work together.
No. If you're joining us on the raid, then you're temporary members of the Marrowbow gang, and only I lead the Marrowbow gang.
Rick, it's not like they're going to win.
Right. Okay. Fine. That sounds agreeable.
All right, so
Famous
2 out of
last
3.
words.
2 out of 3. How many participants in each event?
Hmm.
One each is fine.
We could just do one. Yeah.
That's all it takes.
All right, fair enough. I'll take the wrestling. You there. You take drinking. And you there. You've got the lightest looking boots. You take the race. She points to two of
So-
the members of the gang.
Okay. Are we ready to start then? Want to do it right now? Or actually, do we have an errand to run first? Gesture over to the other side of town. Is there any reason why we want to?
Hmm.
We'll be right back. We need to run a quick errand, and then we'll
Sure,
we'll
fine.
play.
Yeah, we'll do a little bit of training. We'll get ready.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Okay. You wait right here, and then we'll go towards the Cobalt Inventor's house and strategize.
Embers is going to feign a limp as she goes.
Hmm.
Let me fail a performance check real quick.
Yeah,
So-
performance or deception.
Sure, they're both terrible.
Last time you said you were going to fail
I
a
know.
charisma check.
That's why I do
That
this.
was great.
Oh, but this time I actually failed.
Oh,
That's a 3.
great.
Yikes.
Yeah, their insight is above 3. So you don't think you're fooling anyone.
Okay.
I mean, it doesn't matter. We get to pick our participants, so.
I just thought, what am I saying? I'm going to win anyway.
Guys, it would be
Yeah.
really funny if I do the drinking contest.
Oh, Tuppence. I don't know about that. You're very small.
I mean,
Well,
I
we
think
have that. We have that thing that doesn't, don't we? That magic item that doesn't.
That's
let
in
us
the
get-
other game, I think. It's not this.
Never
game.
mind. I was confused. But we can make one. We could have her make one.
Yeah, maybe we could request that.
So that
Well, I
whoever
also-
doesn't get drunk.
I can help. If we take a little bit of time and have a little rest, maybe while we're talking to this kobold, for an hour or so, then I'll be able to do what I did with Rook and help two of us enhance their abilities, so to speak.
Who of us is strong? How are we going to win this wrestling competition?
Well, I can there are no rules against me changing shape, right? I could
Yeah.
just
That's true.
I could be an ape again.
that's what I was counting on.
That's a
Yeah,
good idea.
but then who's going to be doing the drinking?
Looks over at Hakan. Mr. Tavern owner, I'm sure you have, no?
How's your constitution
No?
score?
It's okay. It's +2, whatever.
I mean,
Who has the
I'll,
best
I'll
constitution?
do it. I'll do it for sure.
I think Embers has good constitution too, right?
I do now.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at my spells. And...
But I'm the runner, so
Nothing.
I don't want to do two
Yeah,
things.
that's right.
Well, if we're worried about Hakan, I can enhance your constitution a little bit, give you some extra oomph, and it also gives you a little bit more health too if I do that way.
I
So
like the sound of that.
Well, I can always do a performance to enhance our health too before we go, and that'll be the way I help.
Great.
Okay.
Well,
and
I'm
I
down.
can enhance your speed too, Amber.
Are we gonna need that though?
If I don't know if we'll need it or not, but
I don't think we're gonna need that. But I mean, it's up to you,
Unless they got
numbers.
some tricks up their sleeve to counteract those boots.
They don't seem very smart.
or I could cast it on myself. If we don't rest, I can do it to one person today. But if we rest, then I can do it for two people.
Is this a short rest or is this?
A short rest, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, we can play by ear. See what happens when we get there. Doesn't seem like they're going
But
anywhere
what are we
until
gonna ask?
tomorrow. So
Yeah, what are we gonna ask the kobold for?
let's see what
The
they have
inventor,
first.
I mean.
We'll explain what
think-
games
I
we're
mean,
playing.
didn't
Well-
Tawyn said we should go with an idea, right? It's better if we go and have an idea already.
Well, I think the magic drinking vessel is a good one since you can handle the wrestling and Embers can run. That's the only one that
I don't know what that is. What is that?
It's like a tankard of sobriety, something like that.
Thing that came up in our other game.
Okay.
Well, I don't know if that's the kind of thing she can just make though. That sounds like something that's
We can ask.
Let's just,
Maybe there's a potion.
yeah, we can tell her what the problem that we have, which is that we need something to rig a drinking game and leave the solution to her.
Maybe we just ask for a cup that has a hole in the bottom. Or
Yeah,
something.
she can make a magic cup that it kind of secretly spills out or secretly empties on its
Oh,
own.
it secretly
Yeah.
empties. I like that. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good idea. I think the racing is going to be a joke. I think that's an easy win for Embers. And then the wrestling, maybe if there's
Yeah, maybe I enhance my own ability.
yeah,
and then
maybe you do
transform.
that, and then
We'll see what happens with the
we can at
drinking.
least if she maybe she'll have
We'll
something
see.
just on the shelf that's
Well,
like
what
oh,
about wrestling in your armor though, Rook?
Is that against the rules?
they're using their boots.
Does it help your strength so much, or is it more of a defensive thing?
It's more of a defensive thing.
I just want to see their faces when the wrestling starts and you transform.
Be great.
Let's see.
I know they'd be taking me for a fool.
For a
until I
lightweight.
transform.
Yeah.
They're thinking they have it in the bag.
This is
It
gonna
would be pretty
great.
funny.
Just wondering if the cocoa enhanced my brownie smell.
Oh gosh.
Did it? I don't know. You tell me.
Feeling it.
Yeah, so Tuppence kind of high on cocoa. Definitely smells stronger of brownies than usual. The group of you come to the house at the other end of the village, the opposite end from the mayor's house, that is basically submerged in piles of scrap metal and wood and things like that. Yeah, and you can see there's a little mailbox out front that is stuffed full of letters, and on it is scratched in very messy letters the name Very, Vehri. Yeah, and you find yourselves outside her house.
Okay.
Unlike other houses, you don't really see lights on inside this one, though.
So I'll I guess approach the door and give it a nice firm knock.
That spell is active for an hour, by the way, so you're still
Yeah.
good at persuasion and
Yeah,
stuff.
I
right
saw
now.
what you. Yeah.
Okay. There's a scurrying sound from within, and you hear the rustling of papers and things like that. Let me get up the description for this real quick. There you are. Did I give her a physical description? I didn't. Okay. So the door creaks open, and you can see kind of standing in the darkness within the form of a small kobold woman. Like other houses in town, this building is clearly built for smaller creatures than most of you. Her scales seem to be like a bright pink. And her eyes are, I think, they're kind of like an icy blue. And she opens the door and she sees the group of you and she says, "You're not the usual people," and begins to close the door.
No, wait. The mayor sent us.
She opens it a little bit more again.
She told us about
Mayor
the problem.
Dazzleberry?
Yes, she told us about the problem in town with those
What problem?
violent creatures. Said that you
Huh?
could probably help us with. Everyone's stuck inside, and there's a problem going on. She said you could help us with.
I never go outside. That's not a problem for me.
Wait,
and she starts to close the door again.
wait. She said you'd help us.
Red caps?
Oh, yeah.
Red's not my color. I don't know what you're talking about, but I guess if the mayor sent you, you can come in. And she opens the door.
Thank you.
I think it's their house.
It's small as well. And it's also unlike the mayor's house, which, like I said, looked like it could be converted into a space large enough to host quite a few people. This place is cluttered to the extreme,
So
with basically papers all over the place. Supplies for building and construction, and scraps of wood and metal and leather and all things like that. It's haphazard and it's a huge mess.
I'll look back at Embers and say, if you want to wait outside, you're welcome to.
It would be good to have a sentry.
Yes, it would be. And then I'll help myself inside to talk to Very.
Okay.
Go
Is
inside.
anyone else staying outside?
Well, I'd probably stay outside.
I can't imagine why.
Bardrin in your head says, "Oh, come on, just a little bit of respite from the cold."
Yeah. I'll go inside. It's a joke.
Oh,
No,
you really scared me for a
absolutely.
second there, Hakan.
No. I'm absolutely inside, under the covers, anything.
Thank you.
Yes.
Embers, while you're outside, this will be sort of a longer term thing, but why don't you go ahead and make a perception check?
I think that's a dirty 20. Might even be better. Yeah, it's a 22.
So over the course of the duration while everyone else is inside, you're outside for quite a while while they have whatever conversation is about to take place. But you can see the red caps begin to get up to something. They start leaving the center of town and walking up and down the road that runs in front of the town, the more or less straightish stretch that runs the length of Glimmer Cairn. And they begin setting up what looks like an obstacle course as they erect this big wall, which is just like a plank that seems to be pulled off of something. Or yeah, I guess they would have torn apart someone's flower bed, and they begin to build a wall out of that. They start pouring water on the ground to make a place icy, and they basically start building this obstacle course down the length of the road.
Okay.
So the group of you are led inside, and as soon as everyone who's coming inside is in, she closes the door. And there are no lights in here. So who's got dark vision?
I do.
Okay.
I also have light,
also do.
so I'll cast light.
Okay. She goes, ah! Kind of recoils from the light.
Sorry?
That's just really bright. Can you cover it up just a little bit?
Yeah, I'll put it behind myself and just try
That's
to cover
better.
it up a little bit.
What kind of inventions are there? Is it just stuff that Rook would be interested in, or is it
Roll an intelligence check with your proficiency.
okay? Oh, that's pretty good. That is a 21.
It looks like her interests are pretty wide. A lot of the blueprints and things that you see lying around, you don't think they'd work. And those ones seem to be halfway thought out and then abandoned.
Mm-hmm.
And then you see other things that are just absolutely brilliant. There's one which is on kind of the center table, which seems to be what she's working on now, which is the designs for a small one-person flying contraption.
Okay.
That's pedal operated.
So, creator to creator, I'll try and get her interested in us by stepping out of my armor and going up to that design and looking at it, be like, wow, this is really interesting.
Oh, yeah, I call it the pedal plane.
Yeah, I would have never thought of something like this. And then I'll also produce Soul and have him start flying around too, so then she can just see all of my contraptions too.
Yeah, she kind of holds out a hand so that he could land on it.
Yeah.
And then looks at him. There's some magic in this too, huh?
That's right.
I don't know how to do any magic. She kind of tosses Soul back into the air.
So, I was hoping you could help us with the mayor's problem that we're assisting. We're looking
Yeah.
for some inventions. Something that
She
might.
always seems to think that, anytime there's like a broken anything in town, I owe it to her to fix it because I live here. So whatever. What can I help you with?
I mean, is there something that you want then? Do you want to strike a bargain?
Yeah, she does have something she wants. Hold on, let me see.
Okay.
It's in my notes here. I had someone from my company put a want ad up in the local tavern. I was looking for someone to build prototypes for me. I'm really good at the design, but not so good at putting things together. And I was hoping to find a crafts person to permanently assist. So if you can find me someone like that and send them my way,
permanently,
that'd be great. I would do so much for you if
okay.
if you could do that for me.
Are you willing to move?
Why?
Change locations? If there's a person somewhere else that, like, just how about that?
No, they have to be willing to come here.
They want to be here? Okay. Yeah, I mean, we can try and find somebody. It's gonna be a little hard with the issue right now, but I think if we work together to fix and resolve this, we could probably look around the town a little more freely and
Sure.
neighboring area. Otherwise, I mean, I don't mind helping you for the short term while this blizzard's in place.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you made this watch thing
and this armor,
and oh yeah, I didn't even see that. Yeah. Okay. Sure. Look.
We'll
Yeah. Maybe you could help me get my pedal plane prototype constructed, and then we could call that even. But I mean, then also, if while you're around town, or I don't know, are you from town? You don't look like gnomes.
No, we're
probably not from town.
we're traveling through. We got stuck in the storm that you might not know.
Right. She kind of looks at the window, which is just piled high with stuff. Is it stormy out there?
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't notice. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We'll call it even if you can help me complete a prototype from my pedal plane.
Okay.
And then if you ever meet anyone, you could send my way a craftsperson who preferably can do metal, stone, wood, and leather. That'd be great.
Okay. Yeah, and he'll like pull out some like a little note taker and like write down this task. So on to what we want then. So there are some creatures outside. We're trying to get them to leave so that people can go about their daily business again. We wanted to know if you had any inventions that could help us in these tasks. We're going to be, this might sound strange, but we're going to be wrestling, racing, and drinking. And those are the terms that we agreed on to compete.
I don't know anything about any of those.
Okay. Well, and then I'll like look over to Tuppence and say, you had an idea that you wanted to ask about for the drinking part.
Do you have any chick glasses? Or tumblers? Or mugs? Anything that makes like stuff vanish from it? Like very sneaky, stealthy.
Like if it had a hole in the bottom or something. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, but the other people can't see the stuff come out. Anything like that?
I've got an idea. She grabs a piece of paper and pulls it over, and begins to draw on it. And Rook, you can see that what she's drawing is a mug with basically an adjustable bottom, such that you can push it all the way down to like show someone, hey, look, it's a normal mug, and then you release like a lever, and the thing pushes back up, so it holds less liquid. And then when she completes the drawing, she says, "What about this?" She holds it up.
Yeah, I mean, these creatures don't seem hugely intelligent, so I'm sure they could fall for something like that.
How
Okay.
long would it take you to make it though?
If I had, well, okay, here's the thing. I'm not, like I said, I'm not very good at making things myself. So it
Let
might
me
take
do
me
it.
a while to make that. Okay, that's what I was going to ask.
Yeah. And then, sorry, I was writing my notes. So stone, leather, metal, and what was the last one?
Wood.
Wood. Thanks. Okay.
By the way, Hakan, can you just make like a general intelligence check?
Sure. I got a 6.
A 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, no one comes to mind.
Okay. Shit.
I was gonna whisper to Elwyn, Molo comes to mind.
Oh, can't do any of those things.
Molo can't, I thought he worked,
No.
no, I guess
No,
he
no,
was
no,
the
no, no,
miner,
no.
wasn't
The,
he?
the
Yeah,
things
Molo's a
that,
fighter.
But
Yeah.
He's a
someone
warrior.
from that camp though, remember? He could probably find someone if we messaged him. Another
Maybe.
kobold from
Yeah,
that area.
That's true. That's
Yeah.
true.
we could definitely put feelers out.
Okay. So, look, if you need to win a drinking competition, I would suggest making 2 of these. One without the trick, so that you have a pair of matching things, and then one has the trick, right? Does that make sense?
Sure. And then I think that sounds great. So let's do that. And then also the race is like no problem. I like look back, it's no problem. That's not even gonna be a
Okay,
I don't
sure.
have to worry about that.
Yeah, I had no ideas for that, so
Okay.
that's great.
But then we have wrestling. So when we were
Um,
watching them wrestle, were they like trying to like sumo, like push each other out of the ring, or was it like knock someone
Yeah,
unconscious, or is it
pinfall.
like,
pin someone down.
oh yeah,
It looked like the goal was starting in the center of the mushroom ring and then trying to push the other person out of the
okay.
Not the mushroom ring, but the outer stone ring.
Okay. So then I'll explain that process to Very and say, I mean, what do you think? They have iron boots, so do you have anything like magnetic that we could like pull them to the outside or something? Or like,
Magnetic. Interesting. I don't know if I have a magnet big enough to pull them, but if you were wearing iron boots and could, hide a magnet under, a loose layer of dirt or something like that, maybe I could have one that would hold you in place better. Or I don't know. I don't know anything about wrestling. Any other ideas?
or just some way to like push or shove like with a lot more force.
Something
Oh.
to make the ground a bit slippery, maybe.
Or that.
I've got an idea.
Okay.
And she starts drawing out a design for a set of gloves.
Like a
Has
spring.
basically a spring-loaded extra
Yes.
palm to it, so
Yeah,
you can
okay.
like push
Boing.
people with more force.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And I think since Elwyn's offered him like
Will that fit an ape's hand?
I mean, it could, right? We could
She
scale
starts modifying the designs.
Yeah, so you would shape change and then put these gloves on, and then
Do you have dimensions for that ape's hands?
Well, I could turn into it now if I'm gonna rest anyway.
That would help.
does this count as a rest? Can we count this as a rest?
Yeah, you can count this as a rest. That's fine.
Depends if I shape and then rest, I get it back. But if I rest and
So
then
yeah,
shape,
you can shape and then count a rest after is what I'm saying.
okay. Great. Then yeah, I'll shape change into an ape right there in the middle of her
Holy
very small
Cormac.
house.
Yeah. Okay. Let me see those hands. And she starts taking measurements of the hands. Yeah, okay. We can make this work. Sure. Anything else? What else would help with wrestling? I don't know. You mentioned their boots being an advantage. I could make a pair of boots for the ape as well.
Mm,
That would look kind of funny.
I mean,
Right.
maybe like, oh, what about
Suspicious.
cleats though?
I could do cleats.
Yeah, if there's like cleated boots, that way you have a little bit more grip on the ground.
Are you gonna tell Ellen to get a grip? Really?
Dang.
Hold on. If we are going to do some footwear, I'm gonna make something cool. And she pulls out a new piece of paper
Oh boy.
and she starts drawing a shoe that has spikes on the toe, for digging in. But then on the back, it has basically a tread with rollers attached to a motor that then can roll backwards or forward.
This is amazing. This is like Mecha
How about
Gorgon.
this?
Imp your ape.
I love this. Okay, yeah, that's. I'll like look at Ellen, but I'm already ready to say yes.
I mean, I'm an ape right now, so.
You can still like nod or something, right? Like,
Ooh.
okay, Ellen loves it. Yeah, we're doing this. Yeah. That's a firm yes. Okay, so we have consensus then. So these are good. And then I mean, for the race, I don't think we need anything, but
Okay. Then yeah, if you want to help me build these, and then
Yep.
maybe get some work done on this prototype I'm working on.
I can
Sounds
take
great.
the design with me. That's fine. Do you have materials?
Oh no, I thought we'd work on it here together. Yeah, I mean I've got tons of
Oh, okay.
materials.
Okay.
So
Yeah, we'll figure something out, but that sounds fine.
okay, cool.
All right. So
Oh,
then,
and
yeah.
by the way, if any of you see any people from my company, they haven't been by in a while. They usually come by to collect my designs, and they're starting to pile up.
What's your company?
Varies Good Inventions.
Okay.
We make very good inventions.
I will. Yeah, we'll keep an eye out for him.
Nick is dead.
Okay.
Yeah. Usually
Had to
they
have been
come by.
seeing that coming.
Usually they come by like once a month to collect my designs, but they haven't come by. So, I
Alright.
thought maybe I'd lost track of time. It happens.
Well, let's get started, and then yeah, we'll keep an eye out for them.
Okay. What do you want to work on first, Zach?
Let's just go in the order that we brought them up.
Okay. Well, the mug is pretty easy.
Okay.
So I don't think you need to make a check on that. That's just going to take like half an hour each, I'd say, to make 2 of those. So like an hour total.
Great. I'm going to change back and sit in the corner and meditate for a while.
Yeah. She gets measurements for your feet too, by the way, while
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
still in
yeah.
ape form.
Yeah.
And then next, the cleat is a little bit more complicated. So why don't you do you have proficiency with like Tinker's tools?
Yes. I have a lot
Why
of tool
don't you make
proficiencies.
a check with those at advantage?
Okay. Let's see. So that's. Is it just proficiency? So that's
Yeah,
17.
it'd be, let's say, intelligence plus proficiency.
Then 21.
Yeah, so the reason you had advantage is because Veri is pretty much like sitting over your shoulder, watching the entire time. And every time you go to do something, she's like, oh, no, look at the design document. You actually have to, the torque value here should be a little bit higher. And she gives you little pointers as you're trying to put it together.
Yeah.
There's a lot of times where like you can't read her writing. And so you start to do something slightly incorrectly. And she'll just like jump in and correct you.
Okay, so she's helping.
Yeah.
Okay, I see.
And the 2 of you together managed to make these ape-sized cleats that look like they can alternatively dig in or push forward or backward.
Okay, great. And then the boxing gloves?
And then the boxing gloves as well. Yeah, make that same check.
All right. Oh my god. That is a 19.
Okay. Yeah, same story. Between the 2 of you, you managed to. These are less complex than the cleats, so the process goes a little bit quicker. We'll say all told, this whole thing probably takes about 3 hours, 3.5 hours. Embers, do you ever come in from the cold?
I think Embers is just fascinated by this obstacle course and is like planning strategy and watching what they're doing. It's like figuring things out. All right, so when I hit here, I have to watch out for that ice and blah, blah, blah.
Okay. Can you make me a Constitution saving throw then?
Sure.
I was gonna say before you roll, after the first hour, I'd probably come out and bring Embers like a cup of tea.
Mm.
And
Oh, we got those
you know,
thermoses.
Yeah. Well, and I had a travel set anyway, so like we're set. But like I'd be like, gosh, this is taking a while, and Embers is still outside. So I'll go outside and I'll bring you some hot tea and sit with you for a bit.
Okay. Does that do anything, or is it still just a straight roll?
Still a straight roll.
Okay. Constitution save, you said?
Mm-hmm.
That's I think that's a 12.
Okay.
Yes.
The cold is definitely starting to get to you by the time that Elwyn comes out. You can feel it's under your fur, especially since snow is coming down. Your fur is, the outer layer of it is starting to get wet. And there's a cold wind too that is just starting, it just pierces through every layer of warmth that you have. And so by the time Elwyn comes out and gives you this tea, it's like your teeth are chattering and it is freezing cold.
Okay.
Ember, sugar, are you sure you don't want to go inside?
I don't think I'm going to fit inside, but can you tell them to hurry up in there?
I'm not sure how much help it'll do just to tell them to hurry up. It looks like pretty intricate and delicate work. Here, take my cloak.
Oh, thank you.
Take it off and wrap it around her. And I can keep the tea flowing.
That would be wonderful. Thank you.
Of course. The least I can do.
Well, with Elwyn's cloak and a constant supply of tea, I need you to make 2 more Constitution checks, but at advantage this time.
Checks, well, I guess.
Sorry, yeah, saving throws.
Okay. It's the same result. I don't have proficiency in saves with advantage this time. Okay, let's see here. First one is a net dirty 20. And the second one is a 17.
17. Okay. So yeah, you fight off all the ill effects of the cold, but it's not a comfortable 3 hours out there.
Okay.
And in the time that you watch the red caps, they create like this, it's probably about half a mile long stretch of road. They turn it into a full obstacle course. And it looks like they've completely prepared for the race. So
nice.
Then yeah, okay, so the last thing to do is I need 1 more of those Tinker tool checks for the pedal plane.
Okay, we're doing that right now too? Oh, I was gonna do that later. Okay. Oh, shoot. 18 plus and plus 24.
Okay. Yeah, so when you start to work on that, she pulls out what she has, and it's a start at putting this thing together, but it's not done well at all. And so you have to kind of, you can see what she means about not being good at the craftsmanship aspect of the job.
Sure.
Things are just at weird angles and kind of crudely hammered or, screwed in together.
Yeah.
And so you have to
So I'm like,
undo
you
a
didn't
lot of
even
the
level
work.
this? Like, what's going on here? And I'm like,
Level it?
oh, come on. So we're just
Yeah,
having
see,
like
this is why I
some
need
shop
someone to
talk.
come do the crafting part, because
I can see that.
it's just
The design's beautiful, but yeah, you're gonna need. We'll get you some help. I understand.
but yeah, between the two of you, you managed to put together a prototype of this thing.
Okay. Is it like scaled? Like we can try it?
Yeah.
Can I try it?
Yeah, you want to try it?
Mm-hmm.
So Embers, after 3 hours, Rook comes out of the house with this, what basically looks like a bicycle attached to a pair of like folding wings. Yeah.
Wait. Are the flight conditions like, they don't sound like they're very good?
It's a little windy out, but that might help you get lift. Who knows?
All right. I mean, a little
The
bit of
wings
height
will
wouldn't hurt.
freeze
Let's just give it a shot.
and it will crash.
It's a prototype anyways.
Believe me, I know about flying and weather.
All right.
Okay.
Ice and wings, no.
Do you have any
they're together.
proficiencies with vehicles?
Does anybody have proficiency with vehicles? No. Does the kobold have proficiency with vehicles?
No.
Funny if Hakan did though.
Well, Hakan hasn't left the house.
Oh, I'm still inside.
All right.
It's an in the
Hakan is
vehicle.
on like one side of the door frame and Vary's on the other.
What is it with people in this town and not wanting to leave their house?
I don't know. All right. Yeah, I can give it a shot. I can trust my workmanship.
Okay. Just make a general
I will give
athletics
him
check then.
guidance.
Okay.
Guidance.
Athletics, is that what you said?
Yep.
Guidance.
Someone else should do this. Oh no, this is really bad. Maybe Tuppen should do this. She's really good at athletics.
Definitely too big for Tuppence.
I know. Okay, actually that's pretty good. The guidance was a 4 too, so that's an 18
Hey.
put together. At -1 is a 17.
You start pedaling this thing into, or away from the wind, so that it's kind of pushing behind you, and as you pedal it, the wings kind of unfurl and flap their first big flap, and you can feel this thing lifts off the ground just a little bit, and you're pedaling as fast as you can, and the wings flap again, and all of you watch as Rook gets this contraption to basically leave the ground by about 5, 6, 10, 15 feet before a big wind, boom, comes in from the side and drives it back to the ground.
Yeah, so but yeah, we skid to a stop, and I'm like,
Thinking it was snowing so hard.
yeah, I'm carry it back. I'm like pretty happy with myself.
Very claps a little bit.
Yeah.
One's also clapping.
All right, great.
Mhm.
Oops, we got a connection problem. I'm gonna turn the map off. Okay. Yeah, so then I'll wheel the contraption back inside to Vary's house, and then look at everybody and say, well, other than this, we have everything we came for, so we're ready to go.
I'll start working on a second version of the prototype.
Okay. Am I still on the hook to help you with that too? I mean, I don't mind if I'm here, but I think I was just gonna do this one, right?
Yeah, okay. I mean, I thought about saying,
I'm
no, you have to help me out a bunch more, but that just seems mean. So yeah,
Well-
we're good.
I'm open to negotiations if you want to work something out.
She just kind of like shakes her hand at you. No, it's fine.
Okay. So yeah, I'm ready to go back with everybody in these inventions.
Right.
Okay. While we walk back, Tuppy will cast the Mantle of Inspiration on the 3 that are going to perform the tasks. And so you each get 5 temporary HP. And
Nice.
How long does that last?
doesn't really say.
Let's see.
10. Bardic lasts.
Sometimes with temp HP, it just lasts until you take a long rest, or it gets overwritten by you get more temp HP.
Yeah, how do you add temp HP on D&D Beyond?
Yes,
There's-
at the
right
top.
next to your HP, there's a thing that says temp. Click there.
Oh yeah. Oh, okay. I'm just stupid. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, I think these hit points don't have an expiration time. They just last.
Yeah, it's
So-
really good.
Great.
All right. And then
Let
the group
games
of you
begin.
Yeah, you make your way into town, and the red caps have regrouped back in the center, and they're all doing like stretches
hmm
and things like that. And you can see Mavis Marrowbow in the center of it all, just kind of looking proudly at the Marrowbow gang. And she sees the group of you approach, and she kind of strides forward. All right, now let's see who's chickens, huh?
All right.
Marrowbow gang versus whoever the fuck you are. And I guess that's where we'll end today's episode.
Oh, great. I love that.
Oh my my gosh.
I like how we didn't have a name for ourselves. We were just
We can
kinda-
think of one and come up with a retort when we get back.
I mean,
Or
we have
not.
a name. We just didn't introduce ourselves.
It's true.
Mhm,
Yeah.
Thank you to anyone who tuned in to watch. Thank you, obviously, to all of you who came to play tonight. We'll be back with more of this Monday, 7 p.m. Pacific time. Hope to see you then. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Bye.
Waving to each other.
Right.